If you're over 60, there's one everyday food that could be silently raising your risk of a stroke, even as you sleep. No warning signs, no pain. Just a quiet danger building in your body. One moment, you're drifting off to sleep, feeling perfectly fine. The next, you wake up unable to speak clearly. Your balance is off, or your arm refuses to move. As a neurologist who's spent decades working with older adults, I've seen this happen far too often. Strokes that strike without warning, changing lives in an instant. And the culprit isn't always what you'd expect. It's not just smoking sugar or a sedentary lifestyle. Often, it's something you trust, something you enjoy, something sitting on your plate right now. Meat. Yes, certain meats, especially those most seniors eat regularly, can quietly damage your blood vessels, spike your blood pressure overnight, and set the stage for a life-altering stroke while you rest. You go to bed feeling normal and wake up not recognizing the person in the mirror. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 meats that could be silently sabotaging your brain, particularly in those vulnerable early morning hours when your stroke risk is highest. If you love bacon, deli meats, liver, grilled steak, or fried chicken, this information could be a game changer. Before we dive in, let's get real for a moment. Ask yourself, is your favorite meat keeping you satisfied, or is it slowly stealing your future? Let's find out together. First, a quick note: if you're new here, I encourage you to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a health tip designed specifically for seniors like you. If you find this video helpful, drop a 1 in the comments below. If it misses the mark, let me know with a zoo so I can create better content for you. Now, let's start with a food that's a breakfast staple for many: bacon. As a brain doctor, I've treated countless seniors who thought they were doing everything right, eating a balanced breakfast, keeping their sugar in check, even walking daily. Yet, they still ended up in my emergency room, confused, slurring their words, or paralyzed on one side. One heartbreaking trigger I see time and again: bacon. Let me share the story of Mr. Walter H., a 72-year-old retired Navy officer from Virginia Beach. Walter was a disciplined man, proud of his routine: 2 scrambled eggs, black coffee, and 2 crispy strips of bacon every morning. "It's my little joy," he once told me with a smile. But one night, without any warning, his wife found him collapsed on the bathroom floor. He couldn't speak, his right arm was limp, and he'd suffered a massive ischemic stroke in his sleep. What shocked his family most wasn't his cholesterol or blood sugar. Those were under control. It was his blood pressure, which had spiked dangerously around 3 a.m., a phenomenon we call a nocturnal surge. This is especially risky for seniors, as it often goes unnoticed until it's too late. So, what does bacon have to do with this? Bacon isn't just salty meat. It's loaded with sodium nitrite, a preservative that stiffens blood vessels over time, raises blood pressure, and disrupts your body's natural nighttime cardiovascular rhythm. This is particularly dangerous for those over 65, whose arteries are already less flexible due to age. Add in the saturated fat, and you've created the perfect conditions for a blood clot to form while you're asleep. The scariest part: most seniors don't feel a thing. They go to bed feeling fine, unaware that their heart and brain are struggling until something breaks. Walter survived, but he now walks with a leg brace and works with a speech therapist. With tears in his eyes, he told me, "I thought I was just enjoying my morning. I didn't know I was feeding my own stroke." He's not alone. The CDC warns that most Americans consume nearly double the recommended daily sodium limit, and bacon is a top offender. For seniors, the safe sodium intake is about 1,500 milligrams per day, but just 2 strips of bacon can hit 400 milligrams before you even finish breakfast. Yet, bacon still shows up on breakfast plates in homes, diners, and even hospitals. Why? Because no one talks about the real cost: a life changed, a memory lost, a loved one suddenly unable to speak. If you're over 65, I urge you to think twice before reaching for that slice. Is it worth risking the independence you've worked so hard to maintain? The truth is, What tastes good today could silently steal your tomorrow. But bacon isn't the only meat hiding in your fridge that puts your brain at risk. Let's talk about another culprit: processed meats like deli turkey, ham, sausage, or hot dogs. These are staples of American life, a quick sandwich for lunch, an easy dinner, a holiday favorite. But what if I told you these everyday foods could be quietly setting you up for a medical disaster? This isn't fear-mongering, it's experience. Take Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, an 81-year-old retired librarian from Ohio. Evelyn was meticulous about her health, or so she thought. Her daily lunch was simple: 2 slices of white bread, a few slices of deli ham, and a smear of mustard. It's light, she told me. Better than fried food, right? She had no history of high cholesterol or family history of stroke. But one morning, she called her daughter in a panic, dizzy, confused, and unable to finish her sentences. At the ER, scans revealed a hemorrhagic stroke, a brain bleed, not from a fall or trauma, but from a fragile blood vessel deep in her brain that had given out. The cause? A dangerous combination of daily aspirin, which she took for heart health, and years of eating processed meats packed with sodium nitrate and preservatives. These chemicals had weakened her blood vessels and made her blood more prone to bleeding. Processed meats contain nitrites and phosphates that, over time, damage the inner lining of your arteries, reduce their flexibility, and cause chronic inflammation. For seniors, this inflammation can lead to small vessel disease in the brain, a condition strongly linked to stroke, dementia, and even difficulty walking. If you're on medications like aspirin, Plavix, or warfarin, the risk is even higher. High-sodium processed meats can thin your blood past safe levels, turning a minor nosebleed into a brain hemorrhage or a faint headache into your only warning before losing your ability to walk, speak, or recognize your family. Evelyn survived, but barely. She spent 11 days in the hospital, 6 weeks in rehabilitation, and now uses a cane. "I thought I was eating light," she said. "I had no idea I was breaking my own brain. This is the price of convenience: independence lost, memories erased, families shaken." If you're over 65 and eat deli meats more than twice a week, especially if you're on blood thinners, understand that this isn't just a sandwich. It's a gamble with your brain health. Now, let's move to a meat many seniors consider a superfood: organ meats. Like beef liver. Growing up, especially during the Great Depression or post-war years, many of you were taught that liver is packed with iron, great for energy, and essential for building blood. But here's the terrifying truth for seniors: eating organ meats can raise the pressure inside your skull to dangerous levels without you even knowing it. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold Jenkins, a 76-year-old retired truck driver from Kansas. Harold was a proud, independent man who took pride in staying sharp. Once a week he cooked liver and onions, just like his mother used to make. "It's pure fuel," he'd say. But over time, he started noticing changes: blurred vision, pounding headaches, moments of slurred speech, dizziness, even forgetting where he parked his truck. When we scanned his brain, the results were shocking: elevated intracranial pressure, not from a tumor or trauma, but from toxic levels of vitamin A. Liver, especially beef liver, is extremely high in retinol, the active form of vitamin A. Unlike water-soluble vitamins, vitamin A is fat-soluble, meaning it builds up in your body, particularly in the liver and brain. For seniors, whose liver function slows with age, this accumulation can become toxic. This toxicity can mimic a stroke, causing nausea, blurred or double vision, dizziness, speech difficulties, and confusion. In some cases, it leads to pseudotumor cerebri, a condition where pressure inside the skull mimics a brain tumor, potentially causing permanent vision loss or cognitive decline. Harold was devastated. He had no idea that something he thought was healthy could harm him so severely. "Doc, I just wanted to stay strong," he said through tears. "I didn't know I was poisoning my own brain." The cost was steep. He lost much of his peripheral vision, had to give up driving, and now lives with daily eye pressure checks, and the fear that one more meal could push his brain over the edge. For seniors, the safe upper limit for vitamin A is about 3,000 IU per day, but one serving of beef liver can deliver over 20,000 IU in a single meal. If you're also taking a multivitamin, which often contains vitamin A, you're stacking doses without realizing it. So, the next time you consider cooking liver for strength, ask yourself, is this helping my brain or hurting it when I least expect it? But organ meats aren't the only hidden threat. Let's talk about grilled red meats, like steak, that seem innocent, but can become dangerous when charred. There's something comforting about a backyard barbecue, the sizzle of steaks, the smoky aroma. For many seniors, it's not just food, it's tradition. But what if that smoky flavor you love is quietly inflaming your blood vessels and setting the stage for a devastating stroke? That's what happened to Mr. Frank Miller, a 68-year-old retired mail carrier from Florida. Frank was strong, active, and sharp, hosting family cookouts every Saturday with thick, juicy steaks, proudly charred with dark grill marks. "That's flavor," he'd say. But one morning, after a long grilling weekend, he woke up dizzy, his face slightly drooping, repeating himself. He'd had a transient ischemic attack, TIA, a warning stroke that temporarily starved his brain of blood. Though the effects faded within hours, the message was clear: his brain was at risk. Frank didn't smoke, walk daily, but ate charred red meat nearly every weekend. Here's what most people don't know. When meat is grilled at high temperatures, especially until it blackens, it forms dangerous compounds called heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PHs. These compounds damage the inner lining of blood vessels, causing inflammation, plaque buildup, high blood pressure, and blood clots. For seniors, whose arteries are already stiffened by age, this damage adds up quickly and silently. Studies link regular intake of charred meats to small vessel disease in the brain, which can cause memory problems, reduced motor function, and stroke. Frank told me, "I thought I was giving my family joy. I didn't know I was playing roulette with my brain." He now lives in fear of a second, more serious stroke, has given up grilling, monitors his blood pressure daily, and relies on medication to keep his arteries open. The truth is, those beautiful grill marks you're proud of might be attacking your brain. If you're over 65, grilling red meat until it's charred could be preparing your brain for a future it won't recover from. Finally, let's talk about a meat many assume is healthier, because it's white fried chicken and factory-raised poultry. For years, doctors have encouraged switching from red meat to chicken, and for good reason. It's often leaner. But not all chicken is created equal, and for seniors, the wrong kind can contribute to high blood pressure, clogged arteries, and stroke. Take Mrs. Dorothy Simmons, a 76-year-old retired piano teacher from Oregon. Living alone, Dorothy often opted for takeout, especially fried chicken. "It's better than burgers," she said. "And it reminds me of Sunday dinners from my childhood." She didn't drink, didn't smoke, and took her medications on time. But over time, she noticed fatigue, brain fog, and lightheadedness. One morning, she lost her balance in the kitchen. Her blood pressure had skyrocketed overnight, and scans revealed early signs of vascular narrowing in her brain, a precursor to a major stroke. The culprit: years of eating fried chicken coated in batter, cooked in reused oils, and often sourced from industrial farms. Fried chicken skin and processed poultry parts are loaded with trans fats, which increase bad cholesterol's LDL and decrease good cholesterol HDL. These fats inflame cerebral arteries, restricting blood flow to critical brain regions and creating an environment for clots, mini strokes, or full-blown strokes. Factory-raised chickens are often treated with growth hormones and antibiotics, leaving residues that disrupt hormonal balance and vascular health, especially in aging bodies with slower metabolisms. Add sodium, heavy marinades, and you've got a perfect storm of fat, salt, chemicals, and heat working against your brain. Dorothy avoided a stroke, but her balance never fully returned. She now uses a cane and lives with the fear of another episode. "I thought chicken was safe," she said. "I never imagined it would threaten my independence. The real cost isn't just health. It's your freedom, clarity, and ability to live life on your own terms. Before you reach for that crispy drumstick, ask yourself, is this taste worth risking my voice, thoughts, or memories?" Now, if all this has left you wondering what you can eat to protect your brain, don't worry. There's good news. The most powerful medicine for your brain isn't in a pill or supplement. It's already in your kitchen if you know what to look for. Let me tell you about Mrs. Margaret Wilson, a 73-year-old retired school principal from Arizona. When she first came to my office, she was mentally and physically exhausted. With high blood pressure, low energy, and slipping memory. Her kitchen was overflowing with supplements: vitamin D for bones, E for her heart, B complex for energy, and a brain booster she bought online. "I'm doing everything right, Doc," she said. "But I don't feel like myself anymore." After reviewing her labs and diet, the issue was clear: her brain was starving, not for pills, but for real nutrients from food. We made a bold decision together. We cleared the clutter. We phased out unnecessary supplements and sodium, packed frozen meals, building her day around real, brain, healthy meals. Her breakfast became a foundation. 1 boiled egg for clean protein, half an avocado for healthy fats, a slice of whole grain toast for steady energy, a small bowl of blueberries for antioxidants, and a glass of room temperature water to rehydrate her brain. Lunch was a vibrant plate of leafy greens like spinach and kale, grilled salmon rich in omega-3s, and a handful of walnuts. Dinner was lighter quinoa, steamed vegetables, and herbal tea. Within 3 weeks, Margaret's mind was clearer. Her blood pressure stabilized, and she felt grounded again, mentally sharper and emotionally steadier. For the first time in years, she told me, "I feel like I'm feeding my brain instead of just trying to fix it." This wasn't a diet, it was a reset. Your brain needs hydration for smooth blood flow, omega-3s to protect neurons, antioxidants to fight inflammation, fiber and whole grains for circulation, and micronutrients in natural forms, not synthetic overdoses. Ignoring this comes at a cost: cognitive decline, increased stroke risk, imbalance, memory loss, and the slow erosion of your independence. So, what's the big picture here? If you're over 60, every bite you take, every habit you keep, every piece of meat or supplement you consume, it matters more than ever. Your body isn't the same as it was at 30 or 40. Your brain, heart, and arteries are aging quietly, depending on you to protect them, not overwhelm them. Most seniors aren't told the full story. No one warns you that a slice of bacon, a grilled steak, or deli ham could set the stage for a stroke in the middle of the night. No one tells you that fried chicken, or even nutritious liver, might raise your brain's pressure or clog the vessels that keep your thoughts clear and hands steady. I see patients every week whose lives are changed by small choices they didn't think twice about, meals eaten out of habit, not knowledge. They didn't do anything wrong, they just didn't know. But now you do. The good news: it's never too late to turn things around. Your brain can still heal, your vessels can stabilize, and your energy can return. But only if you give your body what it needs: clean foods, real nutrients, hydration, movement, and rest. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be aware. Start today, maybe with breakfast. Read your labels, question your supplements, and listen to your body's whispers before it screams. What you protect today could be why you're still thinking clearly, walking steadily, and living fully 5, 10, or even 20 years from now. So, here's my final question: what's one small change you can make today to protect the organ that holds your memories, your voice, your sense of self? These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. I'd love to hear from you. Share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your life. Let's support each other on this journey. If you found this video helpful, leave a 1 in the comments. If not, drop a dough so I can improve. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.